Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is Chef Daddy Spice, and today we're going to go over how to set up your computer for Streamlabs OBS so that you can stream to whatever platform you want and have it look amazing. So follow me as we jump right in and get this started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the Streamlabs OBS website. Streamlabs.com. I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can go straight there and get what you need. What we're going to do is we're going to download Streamlabs. You can find the version that's for Windows 7 and up. It will work on basically all versions of Windows from 7 and above. Once that's downloaded, you're going to open that up. Let's see. Here we go. That way you can see. We're going to install it. I personally like to install it off of my C drive onto like an external drive or some other drive in my computer that isn't where Windows is, because unfortunately sometimes Windows does Windows things and then you've got to reinstall your computer and then you lose all your stuff. I've been here so many times you'd think I'd learned my lesson by now. So take it from me. Put all of your important programs on a separate drive, because if anything happens to Windows, you're going to be spending all night and all day re-downloading all that crap, resetting up all your settings. It is a nightmare, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. So learn from my mistakes and just put all of your stuff not on your C drive. Keep your C drive free and clear for just Windows. That's what I do. That's what I recommend to everybody who asks me, because I didn't learn my mistake the first, the second, or the third time when I lost everything, and I've had to reboot Windows and reinstall, and it is a headache that I don't want you to have to deal with. So just take it from me. If you don't have an external hard drive, get one and use that as your installation point for your Streamlabs, for where you put all your footage for your videos. Put everything off of your main hard drive. That way, if anything goes wrong on your computer, at least your stuff is safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my internal M.2. And we're going to call this Streamlabs. And we're going to install that. Once it finishes, let it run. It's going to pop up. I'm going to throw this over here so you can see. And this is what you're going to see when you first boot up Streamlabs OBS. So for today, we're going to set this up for live streaming. So I'm going to go ahead and click live streaming. Continue. I already have a Streamlabs account, so I'm going to log into mine. There we go. All right, we're going to do a start fresh here, because this is for someone who has never done OBS before, or Streamlabs, either version. There's OBS and then there's Streamlabs OBS. Streamlabs OBS, I think, is really great for beginner streamers who just want to stream to Twitch, YouTube, Kick, like whatever. I think it's great for that. OBS is a bit more advanced, and it's more so you get a lot more control, I would say, over like the finer details of your setup. And Streamlabs OBS you can also record, but I think regular OBS, I think the recording is better. That's just my personal opinion. I don't have any scientific data to back that up. I could be totally wrong, but from my own anecdotal experience, I personally believe that OBS is better for recording than Streamlabs OBS. So that's what I do, but you don't have to listen to me, because I might be wrong. I'm just saying. So we're going to start fresh. I'm going to... I'm not going to set up a webcam right this very quick second, because I'm using it right now to film this video. But I will tell it to use this microphone that I'm currently speaking on right now. As you can see, it's picking it up. And so that's the microphone I'm going to use. I have a digital audio interface. You do not have to have one of those, but I do recommend it if you want clearer, crisper, better audio quality. You can get a nice mic that feeds directly into one of these audio interfaces, and then you have all the control to edit that audio. You can filter that audio. You can control the gain, like with just a press of a knob. I can make it a little louder. I can make it a little softer. Like, it's very, very convenient to do it that way. but this is not required. You can totally use a USB mic. You can totally use the mic that's on your webcam if you have one. You can do whatever you need to do to get the job done. I just personally use my Focusrite. So that's how I do it. We're going to go free. All right, boom. Now you're going to see here that all of my stuff that I've already set up is like, it's popped up again because I've already signed in and everything. So ignore this. We're going to start fresh. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go. All right, so I'm going to create a brand new scene. We're going to start from scratch. We're going to call this YouTube tutorial scene so that I can keep it straight in my mind. All right, so in this scene right here, if we look at the sources panel, which is right here, we can see that there are no current sources. In order to fix that so that we can get stuff on screen, we're going to hit this little plus button here, add a new source. There's all kinds of different sources that you can add. What we're going to start with is our screen capturing for either gameplay or for the desktop. Whatever you want to capture that's on your screen, that's how we're going to begin our scene today. So we're going to do a display capture, add source. I'm going to call this screen capture. If I can type correctly. Add source. Okay. Now, as you can see, it's automatically going to pop up with some type of capture method. I leave this to automatic because I just feel like it does a better job of telling itself what type of capturing to use depending on what is going on in the scene. And then I'm going to set this to my other monitor so that you can see we are now inside. This is kind of crazy, recording two different screen recordings. I've never done this before, so this is looking kind of wacky. You can have it capture the cursor or not. I like to capture the cursor so that you can see what I'm doing. All right, so that's that. Right now, we're going to turn this off. The way that you turn off a source is with this little eyeball right here. We're going to turn that off. That will be important later. We're going to add another source. This time, we're going to add a audio input capture so that we can get the microphone. Add source. Scarlett 2i2. I've already set this up, so we're actually going to pretend like I've never done this before. I'm going to say that this is a Scarlett 2i2 digital audio workstation and interface. You don't have to name your stuff like that. I'm only doing this so that I don't mix it up with my other stuff later. So you can call it whatever you want. You can call it, just mic, whatever works for you personally. I'm only doing this to kind of differentiate for myself for later. Add source. So once we pull this source settings panel up here, we're going to look for our device. So right here, I've got my Scarlett 2i2 digital audio workstation interface. This is what I just created. I'm going to tell it I want it to use my Focusrite USB audio right here. Okay. When you are testing things, you can monitor and output. And as you can see, you can hear yourself. That's probably going to crosstalk real bad, so forgive me. But that's just to illustrate what it does. That way you can kind of hear what's coming through your speakers, what your audience will hear. But you're going to want this off most of the time, though. There are certain use cases where you could say like monitor only, where it mutes the output, just so that, say you're wearing headphones and you want to hear yourself, you could do that. You can set up a separate source that captures the output, and then you can hear yourself as an input separately so that they don't interfere and you're not having double mics come through your camera. So that's a thing that you can do. But mostly, it's just really for testing purposes to make sure that your levels are good, that you can hear yourself, it's crispy and clear, all that good stuff. We're going to set that to off. And then once you have your settings things, you can click this test audio button and it will automatically monitor for you. Just like that. All right. When we're done with that, let's rock over here to the global settings and just check things out, make sure everything looks good. The audio monitoring device, you're going to want to set this to if you're wearing headphones, you want it to be your headphones so that they don't come through your big speakers. For me, I have big speakers on my desk. I have monitoring speakers that are specifically for audio editing and things like that. So that's where I do all my monitoring from, because that's what they're for. And my speakers are plugged into the Focusrite. So I will tell it, I want you to do this. This is going to be different for you at home. Whatever your audio situation is, you're going to want to select that there. You can leave the sample rate at 44.1. This is like CD quality, if I'm not mistaken. Not bad. It's fine. You could go up to 48 kilohertz if you want to. It's going to use a little bit more data. The file sizes are going to be a little bigger if you're recording. The bit rate's going to be a little higher if you're streaming. For most people, 44.1 is totally fine. You can just leave it as default. My desktop audio device, you can see it's kind of wacky right here. We don't want this. I'm going to set it for me to default because I already have my desktop audio set up. But you're going to want to point this to whatever you listen to your computer on. That's going to be your desktop audio. So for example, like I said, I have these speakers on my desk. I would select speakers. This is going to be where my desktop audio comes from. But if I wanted to only hear my game and have everything come through my headphones. Okay, cut this out, Future Colin, because that was a complete colossal failure. So we're going to cut that and do something else. All right. So like I said, for me, my audio monitoring device is going to be my speakers. My desktop audio is going to be wherever my desktop audio is coming out from, whether that's my speakers or my headphones, depending on what you're using. My mic is going to be set to wherever my mic is set. Boom. Got it. You can have more than one mic and stuff, but I don't right now, so I just have these disabled. But let's say I wanted to use this mic and also my camera mic. I could set my mic to oh, there, of course, there's my headset now that I've taken it off and everything. I can set my mic to some other microphone, whether it be my Razer Kiyo Pro camera or my headset or whatever it is. You can have more than one, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to set up one mic, one scene, just to kind of get the gist of how this works, and then you can go play and be off to the races on your own. All right, so we've got a screen capture. We've got an audio input capture. We're also going to need a game capture. Now, game capture works a little differently than screen capture does. You can use screen capture to capture games, but Streamlabs OBS actually has a particular source for this, and it's pretty cool. So what it can do is I'm going to add a new one because I've already set one up. We're going to call this full screen app capture, like this. Add source. All right, now you can tell it to do auto, and what that will do is it will basically look for anything. If I pull up my Steam, let me just launch a game. If I pull up any full screen application, like a game or whatever, it's going to detect that, and it is going to automatically filter that in to your Streamlabs. All right. Capture any full screen application. Where did my full screen application go? Oh boy, did it just crash? Well, that's embarrassing. All right, capture any full screen application. And here it goes. Now for me, because my monitors are 1440p, but I stream in 1080p, I actually have to resize this window because it will by default be a little bit too big. So if you're like me and you have a higher resolution screen than what you're outputting to Twitch or whatever, just remember when you make your sources, you've got to resize your stuff here like this. And so as you can see, now we've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 automatically pulled up here. Pretty nice. It just works. Anything I do over here, you can see it. You can hear the game. I can actually see on my little my little mixer down here that everything is working well. Now that we've had a second to set up some sources, get a scene going, let's talk a little bit about how some of these buttons work over here in the user interface. One of my favorite things about Streamlabs OBS is that it has a transitions mode where you can, like, let's say, for example, you are streaming to Twitch and you're talking right to the camera, kind of like how I'm doing right now, and you want your audience to see your, like, whole face, right? You could set up a just chatting screen like I have here, and now what you're seeing live is my face over the Kingdom Come Deliverance screen. And then over here, so that's what the audience is seeing, right? The live side, this side here. This is what your audience is seeing. This, once you press this button, it will push it over to what your viewers are seeing. This is a super, super handy dandy tool for getting transitions lined up for a smooth launch of several different camera angles, scenes, screens, whatever. You can use this to do that. And I really, really, really like the studio mode. That's what this is called. It's this little split screen button here. Up here we have the layout editor. You can click this tab and then you can kind of move around your screens to how you like them. For me, I like my scene selector in the bottom left corner. I like my sources in the middle and my audio on the right. And then my editor display. Sometimes I will take this mini feed out. Like, for example, if I can click this button here and then boom, now I've just got my editor display. I can change this mini feed to be my scene selector like that. And then I can put my source selector in the middle like I like, and then the audio mixer on the right, just like so. And so now when I hit save changes, you can see, boom, we've got our theme selection on the left, we got our sources in the middle, and we've got our mixer on the right. Go back to the YouTube tutorial scene. Okay, so the next button that I want to talk about is the overlays button. And mine is being slow. I don't know why. All right. Interesting. Nonetheless, when you click on this, you can actually come in here and find, like, overlays for your streams right inside of Streamlabs OBS. Some of these are free, some of them you pay for. Let's click on a random one just to kind of see. This is Sakura. It will have, like, starting screens, offline, ending. You know the drill. You know how it works. You can find these things right inside of Streamlabs OBS and use them right away. So that's pretty cool. They have the App Store, self-explanatory. It's going to have apps that you can add to Streamlabs OBS to do different things. Like this magic ball, I think if your viewers click a button on your stream, it will pop this up, or something like that. It's little plugins. The highlighter tab is where you can create short form content out of things that you've streamed previously. And then recordings here, if you hit this recording button down here, you'll find that stuff here. This takes you back to the editor, this little camera looking icon. And then of course, just like before, we got all these different tabs. So to get back, you press the editor button. Down here, we have the settings. We saw that earlier, but it's this little cogwheel on the bottom left. Okay, so now that we've went over a basic overview of the UI, how to add sources, how to create scenes, how to monitor the mixing board, let's now talk about how to go live. The whole reason why we're here, right? So the way that you do that is, first, we need to go into our settings. We need to make sure that when we click the stream tab, and we got to make sure that we've signed into some type of streaming platform. For me, it's Twitch and YouTube. I have not streamed on YouTube yet, but I'm hoping to do that soon. So maybe keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But I do stream on Twitch occasionally, and this is where you can find me if you are interested in that. Chef Daddy Spice. Yours should have your account name here, and it needs to be linked so that when you press the go live button right here, it's going to go into that account. So as long as this is linked, when you click this button, it will work. So let me demonstrate. Go live. It's going to ask me where. If you have multiple... Oh, here's stream to TikTok. How do I... Oh, it won't let me. Okay. Thought, future Colin, editor Colin. I'm still trying to figure out how to stream to TikTok. Anyone out there on the internet, if you have the answer to this question, please leave it in the comments below. But from what I understand so far, based on what I've been looking at all day today and last night, it seems like you either have to have more than 10,000 followers on TikTok to be invited to the TikTok live studio application, or you can apply for it, and if they accept your application, they'll send you a link to download it from their internal app store or whatever. And that is how you can stream to TikTok. But it looks like Streamlabs OBS right here has some type of pass-through option, but I wonder if this is only active if you have that invite from TikTok themselves, because it seems like you can't really stream from PC to TikTok without some kind of special stuff going on. So if you know the answer to that, please tell me, because I am very curious. Anyway, I digress. If we hit the go live button, it will ask you if you have multiple logins where you want to go. We're going to say we're going to stream to Twitch. Okay. Now, if you want to stream to multiple places, I do believe. Oh, I can't. Okay. You can't be in studio mode to dual stream. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing. I swear. I'm just tripping over my own tongue today, and I just can't talk to you. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Anyway, when you hit the go live button, you title your stream. Let's say YouTube streaming tutorial. Right? Which category? Here is where you put things like a game name or just chatting or whatever. The Twitch category is where you want your stream to live. So if you're doing Dragon Age, it's Dragon Age. If you're doing Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's Kingdom Come Deliverance. You get the gist. And then content classification. These are like Twitch tags and stuff. Apparently it's telling me I need to relog in to access that, so play with that on your own time. And then you just hit confirm and go live, and then as soon as you do that, boom, you're gonna see a little red button letting you know that you're live, and it's off to the races. Okay, so some troubleshooting things to be aware of. Let's take a look at our settings menu. Let's go stream. Oh, no, excuse me. Not stream. Output. It's output. Let's go output, then streaming. So for Twitch, depending on if you're streaming in 720p or 1080p, depending on your computer, the strength of your computer and whatnot. Some people even stream in 4K, but most people 720p, 1080p. You want to match your video bitrate to whatever intended resolution you're going to output. So that's a lot of words. Let me back up. For example, let's say I'm going to stream to Twitch at 1080p quality. I already know that 1080p quality is I'm gonna want about 6,000. That's 60,000. 6,000 bit rate to send a clean 1080p signal to Twitch. Okay, my encoder For me, I use hardware because I have a graphics card. Some people have to use their CPU or software to encode. I highly recommend that you check this setting and make sure that it's pointed to whatever your graphics card is. If it's an NVIDIA, if it's AMD, whatever. If you've got hardware, you want to be using it. In this setting, in the output setting, you can also change where you send your recordings to. So like if you use this to record whatever you're doing, you can change this pathway to, see, I have all my video footage here, YouTube renders, DaVinci Resolve. I send all of my video footage to this folder, which is on a different hard drive. It's not on my C drive, like I talked about earlier. That's where you're going to tell your computer where to save your stuff. You can tell it what recording quality, indistinguishable, lossless, high, whatever. I actually quite like the indistinguishable quality. It keeps the file size manageable while also giving a really good upload for YouTube and for whatever else I put things up on. If I'm going to make like if I'm trying to make like a kind of like a video game like film, like a feature film, like a short movie or something out of video game clips or out of camera clips or whatever, I'm going to choose lossless quality. And I'm just going to deal with the big ass file size because I want that type of stuff to be as crispy as possible. But for streaming and for recording to upload to YouTube and stuff, this is not usually necessary. You can get away with these two options here, depending on your storage space options and what your specific needs are. I typically use indistinguishable quality. See what I mean? I just can't talk today. And this works just fine for me. This is also the same setting as OBS Studio, which is what I'm recording this on. I am using indistinguishable quality right now for this video. All right. So just a little troubleshooting there. If you are streaming and someone says something like, "Oh, it's really pixelated" or whatever, you may be sending too low of a bit rate of video to Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, for the resolution that you're trying to output. You can Google what bit rate is for which resolution, and it'll give you like a whole. It can explain it a lot better than I can on a camera, trying to talk to somebody that I'm not looking at. If you just Google it, it will be better than if I try to explain it to you, because I'm gonna fumble. So Google that. Anyway, that is pretty much everything you need to know to get started. That is a very bare bones like overview. It's not comprehensive, but if you want more, if you need more, if you enjoyed this type of content today, please hit the like button for me. That actually does make a big difference. I've been watching my analytics in the last week since I've been uploading again, and you can actually see the graphs and everything. It really does like make a tremendous difference, especially for like small time streamers, small time YouTubers. Like it's huge. So if you liked it, please like it. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. That's okay too. At least let me know. And if you want a follow-up to this with a little bit more advanced, in-depth coverage, leave a comment. Tell me, hey, I'm interested in that. Show me what to do, or I'm struggling with this. Like whatever your problem is, put it in the comment section and I will do my very best to solve it for you, okay? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.